At 9:03 this morning, in front of 10 West 33rd Street, a disgruntled former employee of a company at that address shot and killed a former co-worker, striking him 3 times. As the 2 officers approached Johnson, he pulled his .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol from his bag and fired on the officers, who returned fire, killing him. An additional 9 individuals were either wounded or grazed during the exchange, 6 of whom were removed to Bellevue Hospital and 3 to New York Presbyterian Cornell Medical Center. All are not likely to die.
That was New York Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly speaking this morning about a shooting earlier today outside the Empire State Building. We have Tamer El-Ghobashy, who was on the scene earlier today, here with us in the studio to tell us about the latest. Tamer, thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I understand there was the press conference at 11 a.m. What do we now know about what unfolded this morning?
Well, what we know for certain is that this was a workplace-related shooting. Didn't have to do with the Empire State Building as much as it was near the Empire State Building, but not at the Empire State Building. It was a former employee, as we heard Commissioner Kelly mention, who was employed there for about 6 years and was laid off as part of a downsizing at this, I believe it's a women's apparel manufacturer. He allegedly ambushed one of his former coworkers as the former coworker arrived at work this morning, shot him 3 times in the head and killing him on the scene. At which point he started traveling east towards 5th Avenue, where a construction worker followed him and was able to alert police on the beat to what happened. The police then confronted him. He began shooting at police, we're told, and the police returned fire. Possibly in that exchange, those 9 other people were wounded, not seriously, as we're now learning.
So this wasn't, I believe we had initially heard that he might have been shooting randomly at other people. This was because of the firefight.
Yeah, it seems as though there was a firefight between him and the police officers. I believe it was 2 police officers that fired upon him once he started shooting. And they were able to obviously kill him at the scene. And we believe that no other officers were injured and that the 9 people who were injured, as we heard from Commissioner Kelly, are expected to survive in our area hospitals.
And what else can we expect to hear today in terms of how this might progress? The police are still on the scene?
The police are still on the scene. I imagine they're going to be there for hours interviewing witnesses. I mean, this came at the height of rush hour at 9 a.m. when everyone's coming to work, especially in that, in that area. There's plenty of office towers and, of course, a lot of tourists. So I think we're going to try to learn a little bit more about the victims, who they were, and, of course, we're going to try to find out more about the shooter. And I'm sure through, phone calls and various updates from police officials, we'll probably find out, what may have motivated this attack. If these 2 men had a history, besides the fact that he was just laid off from there.
And stay with us. We're going to go to a witness account right now of someone who's there on site.
There was blood on the sidewalk, actually. I was just, I normally walk across the street like nothing, and then I see that there's blood on the corner. And I saw a woman, and her foot was covered in blood on the corner there. And when I was I looked across, and there was an ambulance, and people were taking another woman in there into the ambulance. So those are the only 2 people that I saw actually that were taken away. That seemed to be innocent bystanders. And then I saw the man who was the shooter just laying on the ground.
And now, the mayor has said that the city is safe but not immune to this national problem of gun violence. Is this something that we can expect that discussion to continue over the next couple of days or possibly play a larger role in the presidential debates even?
It's possible. I mean, this has been one of Mayor Bloomberg's signature issues, is he says he's not into gun control as much as he is into stopping the flow of illegal weapons into New York City from other states. This is anytime there's a high-profile shooting, whether it's of a police officer or a child, or in this case, police officers engaging in a gun battle in Midtown, the mayor takes the opportunity to bring it up. Whether it'll join the debate about illegal guns or just the flow of guns in the United States remains to be seen. Depending on, all we know is that it was a .45 caliber weapon that he used. We don't know how he procured it, whether it was whether he was registered to have that weapon, or perhaps if he purchased it illegally. It's still way too early to tell.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll look for more on that here